Have you noticed it lately? That tired feeling, but it's not the tired where if you get more sleep, it'll go away. It is that tired feeling like you've got 47 tabs open in your brain all at once. And they are literally overwhelming the way that you're thinking, the clarity. It's it's not just you. It is this time of year. Have you noticed that? As we get closer to the end of the year, the amount of open tabs in our brains are insane. And whether that is money, it is year-end deadlines, it is family stuff going on, it's family stuff that you're looking forward to. Maybe you are hosting Christmas, or you just hosted Thanksgiving, or you're hosting a New Year's party that's still a month away. But the gifts and the expectations of this time of the year, all of it can be overwhelming. And even the work Christmas parties, like, what do I wear? And what if they don't have food I want to eat? I mean, maybe it's just me, but I find that you're still supposed to show up, even though you've got all these tabs open in your brain. You are still expected to show up cheerful and make small talk, and life is great. But what if everything is just feeling heavy? What do you do? How do you get past this feeling to actually enjoy the last month of the year? So I'm recording this as we are heading into December. And every year, I know that there are people who are extremely joyous at this time of the year. They have so many wonderful things to look forward to. Everything is aligned, everything's perfect. But I think that there is a larger majority of people who will feel exactly the way that I'm describing. And it's going to feel like someone has finally given you the words to explain what you feel like you've been carrying. And I want you to walk away from this episode feeling calmer, with a clearer mind, and more in control. And I'm going to give you some permission to do a few things that you may not think it's okay for you to do. All right. So hang in, because I've had to learn a lot and undo a lot of behavior as well, especially at this time of the year. So, welcome back, everyone, to a Mindset Medicine podcast. I am your host, Katharine Loucaidou. And like I said, I'm recording this as we are entering December, the last month of the year, that wonderful month of Christmas and holidays and wonderful food, and looking forward to a new year. Are you looking forward to a new year? I know I am. I have found 2025 to be very challenging. And it's sort of encompassed so many different things that have made that feeling of challenge even more pronounced for me. Um, so let me ask you something, since we're just starting off this together today. Have you felt a little more emotional lately than you were maybe last month or the month before? Have you been feeling maybe a little bit more irritated, um, more exhausted than usual? Maybe you're not sleeping well, waking up in the middle of the night, maybe a few times, or maybe you're waking up and your mind is just like it just goes nonstop. And so many different things are going through your mind. I've noticed this year, and maybe it's age. I don't think I'm old, but what I've been noticing is the amount of people I know that have passed away in 2025. And is it just because I just happen to, I don't know, like Is it a coincidence? Is it just does it appear that more and more people are getting cancer or having heart attacks? I don't know, or maybe I'm just more perceptive and alert to it. But it just feels a little overwhelming this year. And it does remind you, and it has reminded me, and maybe I can just ask you, if you have lost anyone in 2025 that you knew, or it was someone that you knew, or maybe someone you grew up with, or a friend or a relative, does it make you stand back and think a little bit about, what am I doing all this for? Is all this really that important? And when I say this, I mean maybe you have stress at work. Maybe there are situations that have occurred that were unexpected. And a lot of the time it is work related because that is where we spend the majority of our day, not really at home. So, have you noticed that there are more stressors associated with work? Or maybe you're noticing that you may not have a job because AI is coming into the picture. And has that or the anticipation of that started causing you stress? Our brains don't always register everything that our eyes and our mind and our feelings are seeing right away. Sometimes our brain can get there before us, which will cause us the anxiety. Sometimes it takes some time to register all of these things going on. I know for myself, I feel like I'm good. I'm calm. I don't feel like I'm stressed. But then I look at my body and I'll notice that instead of my feet being grounded on the floor when I'm sitting in a chair, I have them on the at the bottom of the chair, like on the like the lower arms of the chair, for example. Um, or I'll notice that my posture isn't relaxed, even though I think I'm relaxed. Or maybe you have your fist clenched, or maybe you're grinding your teeth at night. Our bodies know when we're feeling stress, even though our brain is telling us that we think we're okay. So here's what we're going to do today. We are going to talk together about the invisible weight of this season in December, this winter season that we are going into, no matter where you live. And we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about the mental load that you may be carrying right now. I'm going to give you a simple way to help you steady yourself during this next month. And I'm not going to ask you to journal about it. We're going to talk about some real ways that you can start feeling your best during this month. I want you to feel understood, and I want you to feel better after you listen to this episode than when you started listening right now. So please tune in. Share this with someone if you think that they may be going through a rough time. And let's just get into it. So let's be honest with each other. December isn't just a month. It's not just 31 days. It is literally everything at once. It's the season when life just gets louder. It's louder, it's busier. You have more expectations on you. You have more errands to run. You have more social commitments to go on. You have to have more family energy because you may be seeing people you haven't seen in a month or a few months, or maybe even since last Christmas. We have year-end deadlines that need to happen and far more spending that we normally do. And what are we doing it all for? So there is this weird pressure that many of us are under. And I'm going to include myself in this because I am not removed from any of it. We're going to talk about how this end of year push and the performance reviews that you may be getting at work, if you have clients, they all need something before the end of the year, right? Everyone wants everything to be wrapped up with a nice tight bow by the end of the year. And don't forget that if you are feeling this heavy feeling and the stress you're feeling, your clients are feeling the same thing. So if you are finding that the people that you are dealing with on a daily basis are losing their minds, this is why. It's because all this is going on at once. So if you get emails and text messages that are very short with you, meaning they're very direct, and maybe they're not as kind, respectful, or emotional as they normally are, this is likely why. If you are the kind of person who is normally very capable, very strong, and you know how to handle everything, you may not even realize how much the month of December actually drains you. You may get to January, and in January, you feel absolutely exhausted. And I'll tell you, it's not just because it's a new year, it's because of all of these things that have happened in December. And of course, the food, the very heavy food. So we're going to call this the December stack because it stacks money pressure, decision fatigue. You've got emotional labor, work issues, family dynamics. You have the uncertainty of a new year. You have the uncertainty of an economy that surrounds a new year. And because things may feel heavy, the stack is probably even higher than what I've just talked about. So let's talk money. Let's just dive into it. If we didn't talk about money, then this would just be a fake podcast episode because money is related to everything we do in December for most people. December has this way of throwing your finances in your face because it's not just holiday spending. It's the pressure of giving. And I hate to I hate to merge those two words together, pressure and the word giving, which is supposed to come from your heart. But somewhere along the road, we developed an expectation of gifts needing to be a certain way. And there, you know, your kids or your nieces, your nephews, or your grandkids supply you with a list. And this is my Christmas list. And there's always been a Christmas wish list. I mean, from when I was a child, we wrote a letter to Santa with our Christmas wishes. And I know that it wasn't always easy for my parents. You know, I remember asking for toys that were impossible to get. And as a parent, and I know that now that both of my boys are grown up and moved out, you don't want to disappoint. But the problem is that all of that emotional stress always also weighs on you. The pressure of wanting things to feel beautiful for other people, the pressure of wanting to see that smile on their face when they receive something that they've really wanted all year. You want to be generous. You want to be giving. And then you've got the other side where your nervous system and your anxiety is saying, but can we afford this right now? And it doesn't always make sense to be extravagant when you just can't do it. It's not always about the amount of money. It's not always a number. Sometimes it's about what all of that spending of the money represents. Because for a lot of people, spending a lot at Christmas is almost like their identity. They know they can't afford it, but it's the expectation that, oh, Auntie so and so always gives great gifts. Or maybe at your work party, you're known to be the person who makes these beautiful baskets. Again, these are all the stressors that we put on ourselves that don't have to be there. We have put them on ourselves. I want to keep saying that because they don't have to exist. There are ways around this. What's interesting is that it's not always the idea that I'm buying a gift. You're actually saying, I don't want other people to be upset with me, or I want to please other people. I want to make other people happy. You also may just want to show to everyone that you're doing okay, even though you may not be. There is also a fear of January looming ahead. And it's sort of like this tightening in your chest where you wonder, what if you're a high achieving person, what will I accomplish in 2026? What can I do? Should I start a new business? Should I ask for a raise? You know, if you're in real estate or sales, what if I don't have any clients in January? How many more months will it be until I get a client? These are anxieties that come in the month of December. They always come from the month before. And so, because you have this money weight and then you have the weight of uncertainty, neither of those mix together very well. So, what happens is your body will react in actually very predictable ways. You will avoid going into your bank account. You will avoid conversations about maybe budgeting and spending. You'll say, "Oh, the heck with it. We'll just do it and we'll worry about it later." Maybe you'll just put everything on your credit card and you'll say, "We'll worry about it in January." The problem is that if you don't have the funds to cover that in January, now you have another stress on top of another one. So here is the key. In December, when money pressure is mixing with emotional pressure, both of these create exhaustion. And if you have been feeling more drained, more distracted, and more reactive to people, you're not really yourself. You feel like you are literally losing your patience or going off the handle much faster than you normally would. It is because you have way too many of these tabs open, and we need to close some of them to give you a little bit of grace and give yourself a break. I was talking about this morning with a woman about knowing we have to give ourselves a break sometimes. But why don't we do it? Why do we carry on the same behavior knowing that it is making us tired? It is making us anxious. It is making us stressed, making us sick, raising our blood pressure, giving you palpitations in your heart, maybe digestive issues. Maybe you're overeating. Maybe you're going and you start eating the sweets before we even get to the Christmas holidays. Whatever that looks like for you, it is important that you stop and take notice of it. And this is what I was telling this particular woman who I was speaking to this morning. I said, I have this, it's like I have a war going on between me working the hours that I work during the day. And then there's like this part of me, this other Katharine, who's saying, you don't need to sit there all day at your desk. Go outside for a walk. You need to get out and walk around, get some fresh air, free your mind of all these things. So it is important that we actually name what's going on. So if you find yourself losing patience. If you find that your health, your health is being compromised because of all these things that you're trying to do and accomplish, you need to stop yourself and you need to lessen the load you are putting on yourself, especially at a time like the month of December, where there are so many other things that are going to come into the mix. It will be very difficult for you if you're already dealing with other issues that are coming from September, October, and November. So, a lot of the issues that we have with money in December are the stories that we attach to having money in December. What is the real fear when we are talking about our finances in December? Is it the number, the amount of money that we will have to get through the month, to buy the Christmas presents, to buy the food, to be able to entertain people? Or is it what that number makes you feel and think about yourself? If you didn't spend X amount of dollars on your children, how would that make you feel? Because I'll tell you, most of the time, children will accept whatever it is that you explain to them. When my children were growing up, I didn't have money for extravagant gifts. It just wasn't there when I lived in Cyprus. And I was working multiple jobs. My husband was working multiple jobs, but the cost of living was so high there and our salaries were so low that we just didn't have the luxury of giving them anything that was extraordinary. So I remember one particular year when Game Boy came out. Do you remember Game Boy? So my son was probably maybe 8 or 10. No, I think he was about 8. And we started early. We started talking about Game Boy early from September. And we said, okay, if we put a little bit of money away from September and October and November and December, we should be able combined to buy him the Game Boy. That's what we did. But we had to schedule it from months in advance. And then alongside his Game Boy, it was just a few small trinkets. It wasn't this huge amount of presents under the tree. So if you were to ask my son today, I don't think he would say that he didn't feel like it was a special day or a wonderful Christmas morning, because what I understood, even after teaching children for so many years, is that sometimes it's just lots of little things that they just like opening. It is us as parents or as grandparents who teach our children what to expect. So if you are over gifting to children, that is because you have this need to do it. So that's actually the question that you need to ask yourself. Why do you have that need to over gift? Is it for what you want to look for in front of other people? Is it just because you love them so much you want to give them the world? That's okay. If you can afford to give your children and grandchildren or your spouse everything in the world, wonderful. But if you can't, you don't need to feel bad about that. You need to do whatever you can do. And I've had this conversation even with my own relatives. There is no need to have to give these expensive gifts every year. Your children don't need Gucci. They're 11. It's not necessary. How many of us were raised to believe that giving equals love? Did you have that type of messaging? Or Maybe it was the opposite, that there is nothing. We don't have anything, so we cannot give you anything. I personally have never been of the mindset that there is nothing to give. Even if I didn't have money, I could make you something. That's the mindset I come from. I don't think that everything has to be valued by money. I think that it can be valued with how it makes them feel. So pick one money decision to make for this month, and you're going to feel really proud of it when January comes along. And remember that sometimes it is not the gift you're giving and the dollar amount associated with it. It could be your own guilt that is making you feel like you have to buy something. Even with my mom, she is a grandmother to many grandchildren, and it can get very expensive for someone who is on retirement income to buy presents, and the presents that are probably expected by a lot of the grandkids. And every year I tell her the same thing: buy them whatever you feel like giving them. Let it come from you. Forget about the Christmas list. Forget about all of that stuff. Get them something that you feel they would love because it came from you. That's it. Even if it's just a package to make themselves cookies, it doesn't matter. If we could just go back to that, I think that everything would become so much simpler. Rather than giving out of expectation, we just gave from the heart. All right. So we've talked about the money issue being on possibly the other side of some of your exhaustion, the idea of how much money will be spent in the month of December. Let's talk about this mental heaviness that December adds so many decisions that also need to be made. We have gifts, we have plans that need to be made, groceries, family logistics, work deadlines. Maybe you're traveling. What are you going to wear? What are you bringing to people's houses? Um, who are you saying yes to? Who might you offend? And the list goes on. And then on top of that, you work for a living. So then you have all the work stuff and the secret Santas and all of those things. When your brain has to make this many small decisions all day long, everything at once just becomes this big fog. And you don't even know where to begin. It's like that feeling where you come to the end of the day and you literally just collapse in your chair in front of the TV and you cannot move because you are so mentally tired. You haven't been running marathons. You haven't been out digging ditches to be so exhausted, but you are mentally tired. And I find that it's even heavier as we get to the end of the year. Decision fatigue makes you more emotional and more impulsive and more likely to do things that you may regret. So you'll say yes just because it's easier than saying no. You know, if someone is asking you to go somewhere or maybe to host something, um, you spend more than you really can afford to, but you just do it because let's just do it and get it over with, and I'll deal with it later. You avoid more stressful situations because they make you feel overwhelmed. So the less stress, the better. The problem is that that stress will catch up to you later on. So here's what I want to help you with. I want to help make December easier for you because of all these things we've talked about today. 2 questions. Before you say yes to anything in the month of December, whether it's an event, whether you're going to purchase something, whether it's a plan that you're making or a commitment, ask yourself this question. Is this meaningful to me, or is this me trying to complete my image? Is it meaningful? Do I really want to do this? Or am I just doing it because I'm expected to do it? When it's meaningful, it feels warm. It feels easy. You want to do it. If it's because you feel you have to fulfill an expectation, it feels like you're performing. And that's when it feels heavy and tiring and exhausting. Then I want you to ask yourself, does this give me energy, or is it taking energy away from me? Is it giving me energy? Is having these people over for a Christmas party giving me energy because I can't wait to see them and spend time with them? Or is it taking my energy because I'm only doing it because I'm expected to have these people over? You will know the difference by how your body reacts when you think about what it is that you're planning. So here's where I want to help you lead yourself through December in an easier way this year. I want you to have less grind. I want you to have less overwhelm and stress. I actually want you to really enjoy your holiday season. And I mean, really enjoy it. So, what if December wasn't the month that you wanted to impress anybody? What if it was the month where you take back your energy, take back your stress and overwhelm, and get rid of the heaviness and the worry about money? So, if your brain has been spiraling at night and you're noticing that you've been getting less sleep, maybe the last week, the last 2 weeks, because it starts to accumulate as we get into December, here is a 10-minute reset that I would like to help you with. So, first of all, you have to name it. You have to say what it is. So, if you are feeling all of these things that I've been talking about today, then just say, okay, my brain is in December mode. And I want you to choose one of the tabs that is currently open in your brain. And I want you to ask yourself, what do I need to do to get rid of that tab? How am I going to close that tab today? And if you're thinking about this in the middle of the night, how am I going to close that tab tomorrow? Gone. It is not going to be open anymore. So, you know how we have the Advent calendar? We are going to do this for the tabs in your brain. Every single day in the month of December, you are going to close one of the open tabs in your brain. So if you are worried about the new year, if you're worried about your next steps, you are going to work on that one day in December. That's it. If you want to work on it more, then go ahead and work on it more. But you need to close the tab so that by the time you get to your holidays and your parties, you actually enjoy them. Do you have a bill that is outstanding? Pay it or figure out a way to divide the cost. All of these things, I want you to start one by one and attacking them. I want you to ask yourself right now, or write it down in your phone if you're listening. What is the one thing that will give me relief tomorrow if I address it right now? What's the one thing, one bill, one email, one decision, one text message, one budget that you are going to decide that you are just going to stick to it? So if it's $50 per child, that's what it is. You have $100 per child, that's what it is. You cannot afford to give everyone in the family a gift. Just give the children gifts. Give the adults something that you make at home. It's actually that simple. And you have to ask yourself that if anyone holds that against you, that is not your problem. It is theirs. It means they need to listen to this episode. Here's the next thing that I want you to do. And this was 10 minutes. So the first, we'll call it 3 minutes, is to decide which tab in your brain you're going to close every single day. Because by the time we get to Christmas, we don't want anything left open other than what needs to be there. So minutes 5 to 7 or 5 to 8, decide the next action that you're going to take. You do not need the whole plan, just the action for that one tab that you are going to close. So what is the next step that you're going to take within 5 minutes of closing that tab? So is it an email that you need to do? Is it some brainstorming you need to do about the next year? Is it the fact that maybe you need to hire a coach and get direction on where you want to go? And maybe that will solve all of your problems. It'll be all over and done with within 8 weeks, and you'll already know what exactly it is that you want to do. That's what I do. That's what I help people with. Maybe to save money in December, you need to pull up your credit card bill and do what I did last night. And that's just, I literally started canceling all these subscriptions that I realized have been coming out of my account for no reason. So here's where it all started. Opened my bank account a few days ago, and I realized my card has been compromised. And not my credit card, but my debit bank card. That's even worse. So I called the bank, they put a stop on the card, and so on. But then I said to myself, well, since I'm in here, let's just go through all of it. I found so many different subscriptions in the one account. And then I said, well, let's just move over to the next one. And then I had a list and I went one by one. I found them all online, canceled them all. Next month, I've probably saved myself $200 a month by having canceled those subscriptions that I'm not using or I'm not using enough that I need to subscribe to it every month. So these are ways, we sometimes wonder, how can I save more money? Is it saving more money or do I need to go and get another job? Well, before you do anything, just start going through your credit card and your bank statements. Do you see yourself buying a coffee every day? Is that necessary? Could you not make one at home? Are you buying your lunch, your snacks all the time? Are your kids eating out every day? All of these things make a difference. So I'm just here to try and help you. I don't want to, show you how to lead your life. I'm just trying to give you some options on how to close some of these tabs that don't all have to be open. So last part of our 10-minute exercise is the last 7 to 10 minutes. Give your nervous system a signal that it's going to be okay and that you're taking care of things. Put your hand on your chest. Breathe in, 4. Hold it. Breathe out slowly for 7 seconds. With your hand on your chest, feel your heart beating and just say, everything's going to be fine. I just closed another tab. And you're going to do that every single day. And by the time you get to the end of December, you will have removed the heaviness, you will have eased some of your anxiety, and then you can go and start a new year feeling a little more energy, vibrant, and less heavy. And I'm pretty sure you know what I mean by heavy. It's a hard feeling to miss because it's hard to do things when you feel heavy. Maybe you don't want to be cleaning up. You don't feel like cooking. You don't feel like exercising or going for a walk or playing with your kids. You don't feel like doing the things that you know that you want to do, but you just can't bring yourself to do it. So, here is my last little suggestion for the month of December. Pick a theme for the month. So, is it simplicity? Do you want to make your life simpler? Is it stability? Create more stability in your decision making, in the plans that you're making. Maybe it's just peace. You just want more peace in your life. And so that's why we're going to lessen those tabs that are open in your brain. Maybe you want more connection. So you're going to arrange to see more people. Maybe you work from home and it's just not enough for you right now. You want to feel the energy of other people who will lift you up. Is it recovery? Has it been a really challenging year for you? Has it been a year where maybe your health hasn't been great? Then spend the month of December recovering. Do whatever you can to give yourself back the energy that you feel that you've lost. Or maybe it's momentum. Maybe this year hasn't been a great year in business. Or if you're in sales, you didn't sell a lot. This is your month to create a plan for yourself for the new year and not in a stressful way. When you create a blueprint, it actually gives you confidence because now you know exactly what it is that you're going to do right at the start of the year. There is nothing more satisfying. Think about it. If you wanted to drive to Florida, if you had no map, no GPS, and you just hopped in your car and said, okay, I'm just going to have to figure this out. How long would it take you to get there? Sure, you would get on the highway, you'd start going in the direction that you think it is, but somewhere down that road, you are going to have a problem. Do I take this road or do I take this road? Is this a good neighborhood? Where do I stop? Where do I sleep? If you have the map or you have the GPS, how much easier is that for you? Life is no different. Our businesses are no different. If you work in a corporate office and you hate it, what is your blueprint to leave and go out on your own and start something on your own? What is that blueprint for you? That's what I'm going to be focusing on with my clients in January, is getting them exactly on the road that is going to bridge them from where they are right now, at the beginning of December, the end of November, to exactly where they want to be. I am that bridge that will give them the plan to get there. And if you want to join in, I'm actually going to be doing a group coaching. So it will be like-minded people all in a room, in a Zoom room together. And I'm going to be giving them the exact plan that they need to get from where they are right now to where they want to go. And everyone has their own destination, but the way to get there is the same. And I have that because I've been there, done it. So if you want to join in, it is going to be extremely affordable. Either respond here on the podcast, in YouTube, find me on social media, and send me a message saying interested. And I will send you the link. So here is the real question. Now that we have addressed all of these things, just remember that no one expects perfection from you. That may be your own stress that you are putting on yourself. People just want you. Filter the commitments that you are making. Close one tab a day to lessen the overwhelm and the fatigue that you're feeling. Create a simple plan for yourself and create that blueprint that will take you exactly where you want to go next year. And if you don't know how, there are people who can help you. So if you want support in 2026, I am here to support you with a very specific plan. In 8 weeks, I can get you where you want to go, and we'll talk. I'll see you every other week. I have a whole system for you. It's just waiting for you. All you have to do is make that decision. So I hope this episode has given you a few nuggets to help you get through December. I am going to be back again next week. We're going to be talking about something different. If you ever have a suggestion of what you would love to hear on this Mindset Medicine podcast, I would love to hear from you. Put it in the comments below. And you know what? When I do that episode based on your suggestion, I'm going to give you a shout out. And we are now in 75 countries. So I look forward to seeing you next week, and take it easy. Give yourself a break. Life is so short. Just enjoy it. Bye for now.